Hi and welcome everyone who's watching this. I'm Karina Leday, an intuitive channel mentor and mentor for conscious entrepreneurs. And I'm super excited to share my dear friend Kirsi Wahlström with you today. So Kirsi is a soulful life and business coach. She's based in a beautiful place in Sweden, but works with people all over the world. And I'm super excited to have you here today, Kirsi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited too, and I'm honored to be a part of this interview and your program.
Thank you so much. And so it's really amazing. Kirsi and I have met in person once last year, and I've also been a guest teacher in one of her programs. Well, 2 years in a row, actually. And Kirsi is one of my guest teachers in my Embrace Your Purpose program that starts in September. And this time she's doing a masterclass again, actually, on how to package your services and then attract your soul clients with ease. Because one of the things that I love so much about you, Kirsi, there are many things, is that you've created such a beautiful life for yourself, and you're really such a great example of how to have a sustainable life, how to create a business that really fits with your life so that you're also having fun, being creative, spending time in nature, like having a good quality life. And so I assume that when you're really good at packaging what you do, you can bring in a consistent income, work with people maybe continuously, and really create an amazing foundation for your business as well.
Yeah, totally. And thank you. I think it's kind of crucial and essential to learn how to package and price your services in a way that you can have a sustainability in your business and in life. As I usually say, we kind of build lives and then we build the businesses to support the lives that we want to live. So for me, those two go hand in hand, really. But for many entrepreneurs that I meet, it is a challenge to kind of get over to start packaging instead of just taking clients one-on-one or selling your services per hour.
And would you, like, what are your suggestions for someone who wants to package their services, or someone who already has started packaging their services but they're not sure how to do it? Because it's, what do you put in a package, and like how do you price them? And I mean, because the possibilities are infinite, but then we still have to make choices and also be able to sell those packages once we've created them.
Yeah, well, I think one of the main things is to really go with what feels fun for you. What would you like to put into a package? What services, what knowledge do you have? I mean, many times people think kind of too narrow when it comes to packaging. Perhaps if you have a massage business and you're a healer too, and you have something else that's an expertise, but you can sell the things separately instead of packaging all your services into one process. So my suggestion is to start thinking about what you offer in processes instead of like chunks.
Yeah.
So what is it you help your clients to achieve? Is it better health, better sleep, a sustainable business? What is it, the end result of your services? And that can be kind of a new thought for many people that haven't been thinking about what the results of their services are. Usually, we kind of get stuck in the methods that we use. I mean, if you're a coach, if you're a healer, and then you communicate and base your services on the methods instead of basing them on the results that you want to help your clients to achieve. So that's kind of the first mind shift you need to take to be able to package your services in a kind of in a more lucrative way, I would say. I mean, you can package your services even, I mean, if you have massage, you can packet them in series of 5 or 10 instead of just selling 1 hour at the time. And that also kind of gets you a different flow. You know, you have clients coming over time. But if you want to really help people in a different way, you need to kind of step into that you are here to give your people results. And something that they take away from your services, besides that it's cozy. For example, with massage, it can be that you actually can have a stress-free life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's mind shift, and it's about communicating what those results are.
Yeah, so important, right? To the results, and maybe asking your clients as well, people you've already worked with, or if you're just starting, ask friends that you've offered your services to, what they receive, what do they receive right afterwards, after some time. Like there's always more maybe, and sometimes we take that for granted. We don't think it's a big deal, but it can have a big impact on those people's lives.
Totally. And I do think we underestimate the impact that we have. So it's so useful, as you say, to actually ask your clients or friends, people you have helped, what your support has given them and how they feel. I mean, we do actually buy things based a lot of on feelings, on how things makes us feel, because at the end of the day, we want to feel good. And if someone can help us feel good with things that we struggle with, it's worth a lot. So I think to kind of start looking at the things you want to help people with, and then you can package in different kind of things that you're good at, for example, to start creating packages. And if you already have started packaging your services, it might be time to take it to the next level, create something new, or incorporate something new that you haven't been using with clients, but for yourself or friends. And sometimes it's things that we kind of take for granted because it's so natural for us. So really take an inventory of your knowledge and what you love to do, and then you can package that into services.
Yeah, that's great. And how do you decide on a price once you've found like a good package that feels good and feels exciting and that you're happy to sell to people? How do you decide on the price?
Well, that's an interesting topic, isn't it? And it has quite a lot of answers, but one of the answers, well, it depends on where you're at when it comes to your money blocks and things like that. But one of the things I like to do is actually ask the service what it wants to cost. And it's kind of funny because quite often when people then I help my clients to kind of look at what they need to bring in and what that means per hour, and then you look at how many hours will you actually spend with clients and preparing and things. So there's also that kind of more logical way to do it. So I often kind of take different angles to look at the pricing. And when something feels too much for you, for example, it can be, to really sit with the price for a while, so you kind of can grow into it. But it's important, if you're creating a package or a service that you're gonna have like for a group over time, one of the things you can think of is, well, will this take like 25% of my time to have this program running? So how much would that need to bring in so I have 25 or 30% of my income? So there are different ways to look at it. And if it's a one-on-one service, even though I want to all my clients and you listening to think of the value that you actually bring to the table, and that's kind of the basis for the service. You also need to check that you haven't been tricking yourself and setting a price and then you have like put in a lot of hours but not enough
Yes.
to get the money that you need.
Yeah, I did that a lot when I first started. I would get really excited and then I put a pretty low price and then I would put so much energy into it and I would feel really exhausted and I put all my time into the program or whatever I was creating. So yeah. And also I invite everyone to really feel into it, like Kirsi said, and find a price that feels good. And maybe it's going to stretch you a little bit, but you have to be able to say the price without like decomposing, right?
Yeah,
otherwise
totally.
you're never going to be able to sell it.
No. You can't have a price that's too high. I mean, you can kind of grow into a price if you have found a level but it feels too scary to be at. You can offer your services at a pilot price or an introduction price, but still state that price you're not really able to step into yet, but it can be a way of kind of stepping into it, but you're not charging that amount at the beginning. But also to have different price points for services, I find that is helpful, because then you can have like a high-end service that costs more, but there is also other things that you can provide for a lower price, and that can feel like kind of ensuring for yourself to know that you can, offer different price point services.
Yeah, that can be really interesting, and it gives you a good idea of what people want from you as well, because sometimes you're surprised to see that people buy the more expensive package or the cheaper ones. Like, it's really interesting. And to not be afraid to play with prices, because it's not like you set a price and then that's it for the rest of your life. I think most of us are continually playing with the prices, the packages, what we put in, what we take out, the length of our offerings, and just try things out. It doesn't have to be like you have to get it right or you're doomed. It's more like start somewhere where it feels good and then build on that. And the more you offer something, the more confident you're going to feel about it, and the more great feedback you're going to receive. And it's so much easier. Like with my Embrace Your Purpose program, the program has increased in price over time, but I also feel a lot more confident. And the first time I ran it, I had no idea how intense it was going to be for me as well to hold it. And it's 6 months, so yeah, it's different than a shorter package maybe, but I feel a lot more confident asking that now, and that also means that I can really dedicate a lot of my time and energy into it. Like Kirsi said, like if it takes 25% of your time, can you give it that much or that little? And so that's really wonderful, because I love being able to really be present in my programs, and the only way I can do that is either have huge groups and not ask a lot of money, or more money but more like smaller groups. So it's finding what works for you and where you're really I guess thriving as well in the format and the pricing and the energy exchange.
Always trust your own feelings about group sizes and what kind of if you want to go deep with people, or if you like, I have worked with people saying that, well, I need to be able to shift my life in 3 months, so I don't do more than 3 months programs. And others, I want to work with people over like 1.5 years. So there's no right or wrong. It's more of feeling into it, so it's aligned with yourself. And the other thing you were saying about the energy, it's also so important to think of. It's not only the time you put in that's worth your money from clients, it's also the energy that you put in. So even if you might be saying having a 2-hour workshop, you might need the whole day to have the energy to prepare for it and to integrate whatever happens. So then you have to kind of think about that when you set the prices as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There are so many different aspects, but I guess the most important thing is play with these and find something that works for you and give it a try, because we don't really know until we've tried something if it's going to suit us, if it's going to suit our clients, what we enjoy, what we don't enjoy. Yeah, it's, I think anything with business, right? It's, we're always tweaking and refining and growing out of things and into other things. It's kind of like a continuing journey, isn't it?
Yeah. And one thing that I also invite my clients to do, and we might do during the program, is to have like this intuitive process where we actually kind of connect with our soul clients and let them answer the questions of what they need during this package. And you can do it yourself, you know, kind of seeing that you can do it in writing, for example, that you have this client before you and ask what they need and what they want. So that's also a way to kind of shift the focus from yourself, because when we focus on ourselves, that's almost always when the fears arise, don't you think? But
Yeah.
if we focus on what the people need from us, it gets easier. It's my I can't remember the word in English at the moment, but you know.
I totally agree with you, Kirsi. That's the thing, is when we're focusing too much on ourselves, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or am I good enough to do that, or am I experienced enough for this, or like it's like we stay in our own heads. And when we start actually focusing on our clients, because that's why we're creating packages, so that we can serve our clients.
Yeah.
Then we get out of that and we start going, oh, okay, my ideal client has these challenges. Oh, how can I best serve her, and what would help her? And if we do these things together and she can shift these maybe blocks or resistance or remove fears or whatever it is, then what would that give her? So yeah, it definitely changes the perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And I actually had a question from a person about packaging.
Great.
And she has a service, but she wants to take it to another group of people. I mean, she's been working on the private market, but wants to take the service into corporate world. And she was asking how to think about when you kind of wanted to do that kind of shift with packaging and selling your services. And as always, I think you need to, even though you have the same kind of message, you need to address the people that you are aiming at. Because if you talk to someone in the business world, they have a bit of different challenges. You need to talk about the workplace environment, perhaps, what it will do in there as it comes to cooperation or results. So it's not so much about the packaging, I think, in that case. I think it's more about how you communicate your services so that it kind of targets the right persons and they understand that, oh, wow, this is something for our company. So, yeah. Packaging and communication, selling goes hand in hand, of course.
Yeah.
And there is a different price point when you work towards companies usually. So take that into account as well. Usually I don't recommend that we look so much about, you know, around ourselves how much others charge, because it's easy to kind of be in a trap. But sometimes it's also good to have some clue, but then again go inside and look at what you want to earn from doing the job that you do.
Yeah, especially if you're surrounded by people who don't charge very much, which can be the case for like healers and intuitives. I find that. And if you're working locally and also maybe online, or you have a local, like you work locally and then you also work with in a global market, because I find that, yeah, I definitely am more inspired by people I see online when it comes to my work than maybe people locally. because I would be like starving if I was aligned with the local prices here, because it's not quite that. Yeah, there's not a lot of like corporate opportunities. It's more hippie style, so it's not necessarily the most lucrative or like easiest to build a strong foundation to have a sustainable business. But then I will like bring in other things from that. So yeah, it's always great to have a look around and see and find good examples.
And actually can be, look at people that do charge a lot even. So you can feel that you're not alone on the planet thinking of charging more than you do, perhaps. Depends on where you are at your journey. So it can be a good thing to do a bit of comparison too.
Definitely. And maybe
in the right way.
Yes, and then maybe work on your money blocks if things come up. Like it's definitely a journey to work through all those things. But moving forward in any way we can. Well, thank you so much, Kirsi. I would love to know if you have any like last words or anything that you want to share with everyone before we wrap up this interview chat.
Well, now it feels like I need to have those big words that I don't have at the moment.
The pressure.
Perhaps that's a good thing, because I think it's, we don't have to make it so complicated. It isn't so complicated. You already have services, probably, if you have a business. It's just that you kind of put them together so people can get more of you and get better results. So don't be afraid to play and try things out. It isn't that complicated. And also just to perhaps get your services online so you can reach more people, because that might be one of the keys that you need to embrace in order to have enough people joining your programs.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, don't make it so complicated that you actually stop and you don't do it because you don't know how to do it, because I don't think anyone really knows how to do everything. You just start somewhere, start with what you have, something that feels fun and good to you, and then start there and then tweak and improve it as time goes by. And then I'm sure you will share even more in the masterclass in my Embrace Your Purpose program that starts end of September. So if anyone wants to dive deeper into doing business intuitively and creating a holistic and sustainable business by using energy tools, lots of healing, and also hands-on simple but effective marketing and business skills as well. And I'm so happy that you, Kirsi, are going to be one of the guest teachers, because I know that the last time you came in for a masterclass last year was amazing and we all received so much from it. I took tons of notes. And of course, during the masterclass, you'll be able to ask specific questions to Kirsi as well. And you were so generous with your time and your support as well. So I'll leave links to find out more about Kirsi if you want to work with her and follow her online, and also about the Embrace Your Purpose program if you feel called to sign up. I'm doing a challenge as well, so you can sign up for that. That's free. And thank you so much to everyone watching. Thank you to you, Kirsi.
Thank you, and I really must recommend everyone to sign up to Embrace Your Purpose. I've been part of it a few years ago when I was launching my Blissful Business University, and it was such a treat to have Karina by our side and the other women in this nest where we got energy tools and so much love and support. So don't hesitate. That's my word on that.
Thank you so much, Kirsi. Yeah, that was amazing. I love supportive groups, and there's so much love, so much support, because we're all going through these journeys together, and it can be so helpful to be able to share like the really difficult moments and also the times when we want to celebrate with people who really get what we're doing. Well, thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.